What's up, gamers? Dan here from BeAGameCharacter.com. I'm excited to be back here again with you for another Q&A Tuesday. So let's jump right into the questions. Last week's question for you folks was, what sort of physical feat would you like to perform that you've not been able to do yet? My answer for that was I'd like to be able to do flips, back flips, front flips, stuff like that. Um, so that would be what I want to do. Let's see what you want to do and also see what kind of questions you had. So we'll start off with BenRex777. Ben Rex says, "Hello, Dan. Of course, I know the mantis shrimp. We talked about that in the last video. Go check it out if you want. It's just sad that the eyes process the information and not the brain. Well, pretty sure a mantis shrimp's brain is like that big. So, you can only expect so much from it. After I wrote the comic last week, I discovered the site V versus Battles. VS Battles versus Battles. It looks like Thor in his top form is stronger than the two I mentioned, but he is also just of Universal Level Plus, low tier 2C. There are some way stronger Boundless characters, tier 0, like the one above all. Yes, indeed. I don't really do sports more than once a week, so I don't really have a goal which I work to, but I would love to see, I always love to see very agile people. Apparently my mouth is not very agile tonight. Now a question for you. What kind of position do you see yourself in a battle, real or fictional? Front fighter, range fighter, or the one in command? And also, if you include fantasy stuff, what would be your favorite position? Um, I would say probably a lead from the front type of character. Definitely a frontliner of some sort. Not really much for ranged battle. So I would say either leader or lead from the front type guy. I would like to be on the front lines, in sort of a fantasy setting, but also probably a leadership type role just because I kind of get drawn to those. So, excellent question. I like that. As far as fantasy stuff goes, if putting anything else in there, maybe some sort of like battle mage type thing, like wielding blades, but also throwing fireballs and kinds of cool stuff like that. So that would be my answer for that. So, good question. That was cool. I was not expecting something like that. So thank you, Benny, as always. And Benny's a very frequent participant here on Q&A Tuesday. So thank you so much for your regular questions. I love it. Here comes another regular participant. Your name says, "Sup, Dan? Me again. Hello. I've always wanted to wrestle a bear, but I haven't done that yet, mostly because I can't find a bear." Oh my god. Okay, so I know I would lose horrendously, but that's on my list too. I don't know how wrestling a bear like became like this thing, but I mean, you guys, I guess you got Zangief from Street Fighter, who apparently wrestles bears in his free time. But like, that'd be so cool to say, "Yeah, I wrestled a bear." Like, I would never want to be attacked by a bear, obviously, because that's really dumb. Even like the bears that live around me, which are black bears, they're not like the big scary grizzlies. They're kind of like overgrown dogs for the most part, and they just eat garbage. But even them, like, I know I would lose in a fight to them, but at the same time, like, I just wanted me to say I wrestled a bear. It sounds so cool. I tell kids in my karate class if they come in, they're like, "Oh, I scraped my knee." I'm like, "How'd it happen?" They're like, "Oh, I fell off my back." I'm like, "That's a dumb story. You were wrestling a bear," and it never fails to get a laugh out of them. They love it. My question for you is, what qualities does a fit person have? Better way to phrase that is, what is the perfect balance between strength, cardio, endurance, and agility? What personal stats does a perfect athlete like this have? Thanks, Dan. Bring peace out to the world and into your mind. I like that. So excellent question. I define fitness as your ability to perform tasks, basically, physical tasks. And because of that, there is no perfect fitness. Like, there is no, like, Captain America, like, can do everything at once kind of a thing. I guess CrossFit kind of that they aim to be the generalists that can kind of do everything. They want to be strong and also have stamina and whatever like that. But even a CrossFit person, that they might be able to run a marathon, but they won't be in the top 25%. At the same time, they can do lots of Olympic lifting and stuff like that, but they're not going to be, in the top 25% of powerlifters. So generally, the more generalist you become, like you can kind of do some of everything, the more well-rounded and capable you are in day-to-day life. Like there's a lot to being strong and having stamina in life, So I would say good benchmarks to be able, be able to run a couple of miles without having a problem with it. Be able to bench press at least, two-thirds of your body weight, deadlift at least, 1.25 times your body weight. Like there's strength standards out there. They're basically like, there's beginner, intermediate, advanced strength standards out there according to what kind of weight you're at. So that those are good metrics for, I would say the intermediate level is something that's accomplishable by most people, barring physical disabilities. So I would say there, you could conceivably, if you're looking for most well-rounded athlete, I would say somebody who can run a 5K or a 10K without any real issues in a decent time, and also be able to hit like the intermediate level on most standard power lifts and stuff like that. And then of course you have to factor in other stuff like there's for body weight stuff, like a person that can deadlift 350 pounds cannot necessarily do certain gymnastics feats very easily, or a person that can run, a half marathon in a competitive time is not necessarily going to be very good at rock climbing. So fitness is a very broad category, and I think it just mostly has to do with you being able to do what you want to do. So I would say the stats that a perfect athlete has is just whatever that person wants to be able to do. My general rule of thumb is if I want to be able to do something and I am physically held back by my body in some way, then it's time to change my body to do that thing I want to do. When I was training for American Ninja Warrior, I got very, very good at bodyweight fitness type stuff, and I was able to, do all kinds of climbing and stuff, but my overall raw strength went way, way down. Before I started training for American Ninja Warrior, I was able to deadlift the back end of a small sedan. Like, that's something I did. We had one stuck in the ice once, and I did that. But then I started training American Ninja Warrior stuff, and a lot of that went away. Some of my size went away. A lot of my strength went away. My raw strength, but at the same time, I could do physical feats and have upper body endurance and hand strength and stuff and agility that I never had when I was that strong. And now to bring it back again, I've started lifting again. I was bulking over the winter, and then if you go back a couple of videos, I had a 100 push-up challenge, and that 100 push-up challenge would have been nothing in the middle of my Ninja Warrior training. Like when I was training to be on the show, doing 100 push-ups, nothing, easy peasy. But you go watch that video. Watch my 100 push-up challenge video. I lost a bet. Conor McGregor lost his fight in the UFC. I had a bet with somebody over on the forums, and I had a really hard time getting 100 push-ups out. But at the same time, I can put my own body weight up over my chest, which was not something I could do when I was training for American Ninja Warrior. So there's different specialties you can go for. And again, I would say for a well-rounded measure would be able to run a 5K without any problems, or even a 10K without any problems, and also be able to hit like intermediate strength standards, which is something for your weight class, which is something I think that everybody could conceivably do. And might be a good measure of overall fitness level. So that's it. Thank you, Your Name. That was a very long-winded answer to a relatively short question. So I hope that answers everything for you. But thank you so much for your questions and for continuing to participate in Q&A Tuesday. You and Ben Rex always hanging around, asking questions. I love it. Next up, we have a newcomer, Captain Champion, who says, "Hello, Dan. I just found this channel and blog, and I love the content you make. Thank you. I make it for you. Something I have always wanted to be able to do is the bicycle kick that Fox performs in Melee." And he linked to it if you want to see that in the old video. Just go check out the comments. "Even though I am currently super far away from doing something like this, I do believe if I keep it the way I'm living now, I'll be able to do it. Excellent attitude. And if you want, head over to the blog, look up Guile, because that's a bicycle kick, basically, what Fox does. You said that, so you know that. Don't know why I'm telling you that. So the bicycle kick that Fox does is very similar to Guile's flash kick. Very similar concept. So if you go and check out the Guile coverage over on the blog, in the skills section, I linked to a couple of progression videos for how to work your way towards that. So go check that out. I'll link to it in the comments. I'll link to the Guile Champion Spotlight, and you can go from there. So thanks for stopping by, Captain Champion. I am really glad you enjoy the stuff. I hope you continue to hang around, ask questions, participate in the community. I'm glad to have you here. So that's it for today's Q&A Tuesday. Thank you all for watching. I will say for next week, your question for next week: what is the biggest mental barrier that you've ever had to overcome? Like your own personal mental barrier that you had to overcome. What was holding you back from doing something that you wanted to do, and it was just all in your head and you had to work through it. Let me know what that was. Go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. And while you're at it, ask me a question, and I will answer it next week to the best of my ability. We're starting to get some cool creative questions, which I am enjoying. I want more of those. I love them. So, again, thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe. And as always, remember to live boldly, change the world, and continue to be awesome. Bye-bye.